you know, right, where is the navigation for the setup manager. People tools. In people tools, we have the setup manager. In this, we need to go manage implementation projects. Here we have already generated the setup task list for purchasing. Similarly, you can also generate the setup task list for other modules as well. This is yours, okay? Just click on you. Do you have any questions, Cyrus, on this?
I just have a small question. If we have to implement the whole system, for example, we have to make, here we are talking about different modules, right? Purchasing, billing, right?
Yes, yes.
If we need to install the whole financial module, then it's going to be the same way?
Yeah, the thing is, here we are going one by one, right? We are generating the task list for purchasing, or we are generating the task list for GL. Suppose if you want to implement all the modules together at a time, then what you need to do? So we have the option, right? By products. You need to select all the modules, whatever that we want to implement, and after that you need to generate the task list.
Okay, got it.
You understand what I am saying, right? So
Yeah.
that the system will generate all the set of task list which are required for the modules whatever you selected before you run the process.
Okay.
Okay. So once you get the, I will show you how to do that. Okay, for example, if you want to generate the setup task list for all the modules at a time, so tell me what are all the modules that you want to implement?
I mean, well, the whole
Purchase.
financial module, for example, that would have purchasing, billing, inventory, asset
Yeah, yeah.
management.
Yeah, I'm selecting one by one. Purchasing, inventory, asset management, and what else?
Uh, I think account
Billing,
receivable, payable.
billing,
Yeah, that's account receivable. That's
receivables, and receivables, general ledger, and what else?
I think that's all I know. Or expenses, if there is any.
Yeah, expenses and payables. Okay, and so we almost selected all the modules, right? Important modules. Okay. Now you need to click on use summary. Okay. So the system will provide you all the like features. So whatever modules that you have selected, for all the modules, it will show you the features in the list. Okay. What you need to do here, you can keep the star mark because those two are mandatory, and rest you can see. This is the module name, okay? Asset lifecycle management, and this is the module name actually, okay? And
Right.
these are all the features, okay? In this module, these two are the mandatory features. You cannot delete. The rest of the features you can delete. So that whatever the setup task list associated, all these features will be deleted from the your list. So they won't generate in your list. That's what I'm saying. You got? Hello, Cyrus.
Yes, yes.
Similarly, if you click here next, okay, these are
Yes.
all features associated with asset management. So
Okay.
these features you can keep or you can delete. That is your choice, okay. But whenever you are seeing the star mark, this is again another product. This is the inventory product. Product is nothing but a one model, okay. So this is the mandatory feature for inventory. And if you click next, so these are all the mandatory features for inventory you must keep. You cannot delete. And if you click next, So the rest of the features where you are not seeing the star mark, you can delete them. Okay, you can keep or you can delete them. So if you delete, then what will happen? Whatever the setup task list associated to this consignment, those setup task list will not be generated by your process. If you click next, these are all not mandatory, non-mandatory features. You got what I am saying, right?
Yeah.
So now what you need to do, you can just save this. Save this project. So you can just give the name FSCM serials. I'm just giving one name for this. Okay, description financials.
No, that's not it.
Financials implementation. You can just give the description for that. Okay, you can just click on OK.
Yeah.
Once you create the project, then what you need to do, you have to initiate the process. Initiate the process means if you click this button, then that button will initiate one process, application engine process. Okay, that process will run by the process scheduler. You know what is meant by the process scheduler?
What did you say?
Process scheduler. Process scheduler.
Yeah.
You know, right? So
Yeah.
when I click this button will initiate to run one process. Okay, PTLT underscore setup. That is the application engine process. That process will generate the setup task list for all the products, whatever you have been selected over here.
Okay.
You understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Click generate setup tasks. Here you can just click this button so that once this process completed, now it is in queued status. Queued status means this process has been submitted to the process scheduler and the status of that process is in queued. Queued means once the previous process is run, then it will take by the process scheduler. Now it is processing. So if you select this option, then what will happen? Once this process status, run status got completed, then the setup task list will automatically show you. Launch setup tasks and completed. That is the option.
Okay.
You understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm selecting this. So once this process completed, just refresh for every 15 seconds. If you want to see that process name, you can just click on process monitor. This is one place where we can monitor all the processes status. Okay, in process scheduler. Here our process name is PTLT underscore setup, and this is the process type application engine. As I told you, this process type is the application engine, and this is the user ID. By this user, we have initiated the process, and this is the date runtime, run date time. Okay, and this is the status, and this is the distribution status, and this is the details. So run status, once this process went to success, then it will show you success. If it went to no success, then it will show you no success. Suppose if error, then it will show you error. So we have so many statuses for the process. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, got success and posted. What is meant by the posted? Posted means if there are any files generating that process, those files will be posted in the respective folders. That is nothing but a posted. Okay. And this link details will give you the log files and all. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. FSCM, right? Our project name is FSCM. So this is yours. You can just click on use the task list. Now the system will provide you all the setup task list for the modules whatever you have selected in the sequential order. Okay. Based on that the sequential order, you need to do one by one. See. So these are all the setup task list for all the modules whatever you have been selected. Total how many setups you need to do? 7, 1, 8.
8.
Okay. So as I told you in the last class, this is the sequence number. Sequence number means you need to follow the order. Okay. First we have to do this and then this and then this like that. Okay. You need to go one by one from first to last. That is the sequence order. And this is the status of each setup task list. Okay. Now it is showing not started. Okay, once you go and do something, give some information in the tracking tab, like a date, as to whom it has been assigned, and the start date and end date, and percentage completed. Okay,
Sure.
so once you provide these details against each setup task list, then it will show you in progress, in process status. That means we have initiated that setup task list, right? You got it?
Yeah.
So this tracking tab is purely to track the status of each setup task. Okay, and this task details tab, this is also I explained you in the last class. So what is the target component which will impact with that setup task list? So by this setup task, okay, what is the target component where we can enter the data finally? That is the task code. Okay, and this is the cross database and this is the load method. I already told you we have different methods to load the data. One is online entry. Okay, Shiraz.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, one is the online method. Online method means you can directly go and enter the data through online. And another one is the component interface. Or we have one more method, that is the Excel to CI. So we have different methods to load the setup data, online, Excel to CI, and component interface. Got it?
Got it.
Okay.
But how are we going to upload the data through online? I mean,
Online means you can just directly click this link, okay? So that it will take you to directly to those pages. See, setup financials, product related, procurement options, vouchers, document association group. Here you can enter that data for this setup task. Okay, you can enter the data here.
but data can be in any form, right? For example, it can be in Excel, it can be in...
No. See, whenever you are loading through Excel to CI or combo interface, at that point of time only you are talking, whatever you are talking, the file format, that will be considered. Now we are doing manually, right? Manually means we can enter the data. Users can enter the data. Users means functional people will enter the data.
I mean, so data can be in any form, right?
Yeah, even if it is any form, you can just take a look and you can just enter the data. It's row by row, right? See, the thing is, whenever you're entering the data through online, alright, okay, so the business will provide you the data, okay. They don't give you the data in Excel or CSV format. They only provide the data in Excel or CSV format whenever you are loading the data through some other method. Some other method means component interface or Excel to CA. But online method, they don't provide the data in Excel or CSV format. Okay.
Yeah. So my question is, if I'm as a consultant, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the company would say that we have been using, for example, um, we have been using this for example, legacy or some other old accounting software or any other,
Mm-hmm.
and we want you to take the data from there and upload it with, just integrated with this,
Okay.
PeopleSoft FSCM.
Okay. The thing is, okay, they never do the conversion for the setup data. Okay.
Oh,
They
who does
only do
it?
the conversion. Yeah.
Who will do it?
See, they never do the conversion for the setup data. Okay. They only do the conversion for other data. Okay. So the
Okay.
setup data will always do these methods only because the fields, the values which are different from the legacy system. The PeopleSoft fields are different from the legacy system, right? So even before do the conversion, they need to have multiple times of validation, data validation. Okay, even your case is also true. So they will do lot of validation before they do the conversion. So that they can do the mapping perfectly. Suppose in one legacy system, the field calendar ID is with some other name, okay? But in PeopleSoft we have some other name. So we need to do the perfect mapping before you do the conversion.
Yeah, that's what I'm
But
saying. How are we going to integrate two different datas? But
yeah,
as you
yeah,
said,
yeah. That technical people will take care. You don't need to
oh,
do any conversion, okay? The technical people will write the programs to do the conversion.
sure.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
So what you need to do as a functional consultant is you need to do the setups. Okay, you need to do the setups and you need to uh, like prepare the requirements. What client exactly is looking for. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So after that, once you provide the requirements, then technical people will develop that.
Okay.
Okay. So here to load the setup data, we have different methods. One is the online method, second one is the component interface, and one more method is Excel to CA. Okay, online method means we can directly come to that particular navigation of the setup task, and you can enter the data manually through manually. That is the online method. Okay. Now, whenever I click this is the navigation for this setup task. See, set of financials, supply chain, product related, procurement options, vouchers, document association group. Okay. So you can go this navigation or you can directly click on this link so that it will directly take you to that particular navigation. See, whatever we have seen the navigation over there, the same navigation is showing up. Here you can just enter the data. Okay.
Okay.
So these are all the setup task list for all the models, whatever you have selected. You need to go one by one. And first you have to do this and then this like that. Okay. So this we have already discussed in the last class. So in the first summary tab, what are the things that we can able to see, and in the tracking tab, what are the things that we are able to see, and the task details. So these tabs we have discussed very briefly. Okay, in the last class. If you observe this, the navigation, see, we can see three navigations. Set of financial supply chain, that is the common, and the next you can see install And next we can see common definitions, and next you can see common definitions. You can see all are common definitions. Next we can see product related, right?
Yeah.
And one more you can see business unit related. One more thing we can see budget, business unit related. Okay, that will also come. See, business unit related. Okay, set of financials, supply chain, and business unit related. So we can see mainly 3-4 navigations. One is the common definitions, one is the product related, and another one is the business unit related. Let's see. Set of financials. Okay, here you can set up each and everything whatever we required for our financial system. Okay, in this navigation. So here we have different folders: installation folder 1, security folder 1, upgrade folder, product related, common definitions, business unit related. Okay, so whatever the setups that we required for installation, those setups you can do in the install folder. And whatever the security related setups, we can do all the security related setups in the security navigation. And upgrade, so whenever you are upgrading the system from lower version to higher version, at that point of time you can use the upgrade folder navigation to do some setups. Okay, and business unit related, you know what is meant by the business unit?
Well, it's based on every business unit. Like for example, you have 3 different product line, then you have 3 different business units for that, or
Yes.
you get have like your business is in 3 different countries, so you can have 3 different business units for named as.
Okay. Okay. So business unit is nothing but a high level key field in the transaction tables. So in PeopleSoft we have different tables, like what are all the tables? Transaction tables, control tables, and run control tables. Transaction tables means the tables which are affect on daily basis. Okay, daily basis means day-to-day transactions. Okay.
Okay.
Simply what we can understand, for example, if one organization has different businesses, then they can maintain one business unit for each business, so that that business unit will represent the nature of the business. For example, if you take, tell me one organization which is doing the multiple businesses.
Can you repeat that?
See, if one organization is doing the multiple businesses, okay, for each and every business, they will maintain the one business unit.
Yeah.
So that that business unit will represent the nature of that business.
Okay.
Tell me one organization which is doing the multiple businesses.
Sony.
Yes, Sony. So Sony is having what are all the products that they are having in the market.
You're asking me?
Hmm.
What are you asking?
No. What are all the businesses that they are doing? Tell me.
Well, they
Sony.
have computers, they have TVs, they have
No. These are all like electronics only, right? Only one line. This is all one line. All are comes under electronics category. TVs, computer. These are all electronics. Apart from this, what else they have?
think that's all they do, right?
Do you know Reliance?
Huh?
Reliance.
I don't understand what you said.
No. Do you know Reliance?
No.
No. Uh, what else? You know.
Samsung, they do cell phones, they do different.
So these are like okay. These are all comes under electronics category only. Okay. Leave it. I'll tell you. Uh, okay. For example, Sony is maintaining TVs under one business, mobiles under one business, and gadgets under one business. What else? Laptops. Okay. So if they want to maintain these businesses under different business units, then they can give the for TVs they will have one business unit, that is the TV, STV, Sony TV, okay. And for mobiles, S Mobile. This is one business unit, and gadgets, S Gadgets, and laptops, S Laptop. That means they can give the business unit for each and every of their business. So by looking at the business unit, we can say the nature of the business. STV means Sony TV business unit. That means that business unit will capture the information of all the transactions which are happening in that particular business, TV sales. Okay.
Okay.
And by looking at the business unit S Mobile, that means Sony Mobile. This business unit will capture all the transactions whatever happened in the mobiles, right?
Yeah.
So by looking at the business unit, we can say the nature of the transaction. The nature of the transaction means what kind of business it is. That is the nature of the transaction. By looking at the S Lab, Sony laptop, by looking at this business unit, we can say this business unit belongs to the laptops. So that it will capture all the transactions whatever happens in the laptops business. You got it right?
Yeah.
So business unit is nothing but a high level key field in the transaction tables that tells you the nature of the business. Tells you the nature of the business.
Got it.
Got it right?
Yeah.
Okay. So all business unit related things we can do in the business unit related folder. Okay. For example, they can have different business units. Okay, for each and every modules. Suppose if they want to maintain different business units for the general ledger, they can come to this navigation and define the business units. What are all the business units that they have for general ledger? Similarly, if they want to define the business units for payables, they can come to this navigation and they can define the business units for payables module. So all the business units they can define in this navigation. Okay. So in the
Okay.
business unit related navigation, they can define the business units. They can define the business units. That's what I am trying to say. And common definitions. Common definitions means in the name itself, it is clearly telling you common definitions. Whatever setups that you do in this navigation, those setups will be used across the system. Will be used across the system. They are not specific to any module. They are not specific to any module. You got what I'm saying, right? So whatever setups that you do in this navigation, common definitions navigation, those setups can be used across the system. They are not specific to any module. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Clear?
Yeah.
And product related. Product means what? Module, right? So you can say product is nothing but a one module. In the product related navigation, whatever you do the setups, for example, if you come product related, again we have all the modules over here, right? Asset management, budgeting, billing, contracts, okay? Suppose if I do some setups in billing navigation again, okay? So these setups can be only useful for the billing module. These setups, whatever you do, the setups in product related, those setups are only specific to that particular product. You cannot be used those setups across the system. Clear
Okay.
or doubt? Any doubt?
No, that's fine. I mean, product related is from each module, right?
Yes, each module. So it's specific to that particular module.
But common definition is for the whole system, right?
Yes. So whatever you define, whatever you set up in the common definitions navigation, those setups you can use across the system. It's common for all the modules. That's what the common definitions.
Okay. Got
You
it.
are clear about these three navigations, right? Business unit related, common definitions, and product
Yeah.
related. Okay. So almost 80% setups we can do
But
under
but
these three
but but
navigations.
but my question is, for example, billing is connected to different other modules, right?
Uh-huh.
So if you make a change in product related billing, right,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
isn't it going to impact um, other things? For example, billing is related to inventory, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
and then it's related to expenses, it's related to profit, it's related to other stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
So whatever changes you make in billing, it's going to impact the other modules too, or not?
See, the thing is, okay, the thing is, whenever you do the changes, whenever you want to do the changes at that point of time, at least you should ask the technical people to analyze the impact.
Okay,
Okay, boss, I'm going to change this value in billing. So what are all the places that this is going to impact? That question you need to ask the technical source, so that they will provide you some analysis. Okay, so boss, this will impact in these many places. So instead of that, you can do this like that. They'll give you the appropriate solution.
okay,
Okay,
yeah,
definitely it will impact. Sometimes it may not impact, but most of the cases the impact is there. Okay,
got it.
so almost 80 to 90% of setups we can do under these three navigations: business unit related, common definitions, and product related. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just want to explain you what is the significance and what is the difference among these three navigations. That's why I came to here. Okay. And again, I am going to back on setup task list. Okay. Okay. Now we'll go one by one. Okay. Shall we start from here? Here else.
Yeah.
Or else we can will go by module. This setup task list is for all the models, right? Whatever we have been selected. You can go this way, or you can go one model by one another model like that.
I mean, whatever is easier, just whatever you think is right.
No. Nothing is easier. We have to go all the setups. Okay, whether you
Yeah.
select one model or whether you select multiple models. Okay, but what you will do, will go one model by another model. Like first we
Okay.
will discuss about the purchasing, and after that we will next payables, next billing, like that.
Okay.
Now you understand, right, how to generate a setup task list for one module or for all modules.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the PO module setup task list. Okay, you can just click on installation options. You will see what are all the installations required for purchasing. So when you click that link, it will take you to the installation options page. Here you can select the model again, purchasing, right?
Can you just
Yes.
okay? Can you hit it? Like
You can click on
okay,
this
yeah,
link.
you got it. Okay.
Now it will take you directly to that particular page, okay?
Hmm.
Particular navigation. Now again you need to select the purchasing over here because we are doing the purchasing, right? You need
Yeah.
to select the purchasing, and here you need to mention the some options. What are all the options? See, this like once you are aware of the transactions in purchasing model, then it will be easy for you to understand what are all these options. Okay. See, dispatch the purchase order method.
What do you mean?
Dispatch purchase order. When you create a purchase order to buy something, okay, you need to dispatch that purchase order to your vendor. Do you know what is the significance of purchasing? Why we need the purchasing model in PeopleSoft?
Well, I mean, in accounting, we need so that we can keep a good record of what we ordered and who authorized the purchasing,
Yeah.
so that
Just one,
we can keep a good record of our inventory and then the purchasing part too.
just 1 minute, 1 minute.
Will you be able to share this with me?
Yeah. See, these are all the modules that we have in PeopleSoft Finance, right? FSCM.
Okay.
See, you can just purchasing is the model which deals with all the buying related transactions. Buying related transaction means whenever you want to buy something, okay, for your organization, you need to go through purchasing model by creating the requisition, by creating the purchase order and dispatch the purchase order. And once you dispatch the purchase order, then your vendor will supply the goods. Okay. So that we will discuss and we do the transactions in the purchasing model. But for time being, at least you should understand what is meant by the purchase order. A purchase order is nothing but a documentation. Okay, that consists of the information what you are ordering. For example, if you raise one purchase order, if you create one purchase order by saying you need 10 laptops and 10 desktops, and what you need to do, you need to mention the vendor name from which you are ordering. Hello?
Yeah.
So, and that functionality we'll discuss when we discuss about the purchasing transactions in detail. Okay, for timing at least you should understand the purchase order. Purchase order is nothing but a document between you and your vendor that consists of the information what you are ordering. Okay. So how your vendor will know the items information? Once you create the purchase order, once you dispatch the purchase order to your vendor, then only it will supply the goods as per your order, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how the purchase order information will reach to your vendor? We have different ways to do that. We can send an email, or we can take the printout of purchase order and we can courier it. Okay, and we can send the fax through fax. Okay. And we can send the electronic dispatch, EDX. Electronic data dispatch means some other method like messages, like kind of thing. Okay, we have different methods to send that information, whatever you are ordering, to your vendor. Email, take the printout and courier it, and EDX and fax. These are all the methods.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we'll go and see. So these options are nothing but a, for example, you are sending the purchase order to your vendor by fax. Okay, what is the fax file number that you used last? Suppose if I mention 0 over here, next time whenever you dispatch the purchase order through fax by choosing the fax file option, the system will generate the fax file number. So the system, while generating the fax file number, it will just add 1 to this number. Whatever you mentioned over here, just the system will add 1 to that number. If I mention 0, next time whenever I run the process, then it will get 0 plus 1. That means 1 it will get over here.
Okay.
Next time whenever you run that fax file process, then it will become 2. Next time it will become 3. The system will automatically update the number each time whenever you run that process. After 1 year, if you come back to these pages and if you see these numbers, so the numbers will show you what is the how many number of fax files that you have generated, how many number of EDX files that you have been generated for dispatching the purchase order. You understand what I am saying, right? Any doubt? Serious? Hello?
Yeah.
Any question?
No, that's fine. I mean, it's pretty simple.
Yeah. Similarly, email file number. Okay. Value for max quantity and breaks. So it will breaks whenever it will reach to this number. Okay. And purchase orders, max rows to retrieve for. Whenever you are seeing the data for purchase orders, how many number of rows that you want to see at a time. That is the max rows to retrieve for. Hello? Siraj?
Yeah, I'm here.
This, you understand this option? Purchase orders, max
Yeah.
rows to retrieve for. So how many purchase orders that you want to see at a time? How many requisitions that you want to see at a time? Okay. And PO approval monitor. PO approval monitor. Whenever, suppose if you are the approver of PO, then how many POs that you want to see at a time? 5. Requisition approval monitor. So how many requisitions that you want to see at a time? Requisition to PO selector. Whenever you create the purchase order by using the requisition, okay, at that point of time, you need to select the requisition ID. Okay, at a time, how many requisitions that you want to able to see. So that's what I said. Okay, whenever you do some transactions at that point of time, these options will be very easier for you. Okay, now you don't know, so these options where you can see while doing the transactions. You got
Okay.
it?
Yeah.
So once you do the transactions, and at that point of time you can come back and see these options, then it will be very easier for you to understand.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
And last PO requisition loader ID and maximum loader ID. And
So every time we need to send a purchase order to our vendor, we need to
yeah.
come to this screen, right?
No. We no need to come to this screen. This is for initial setup. Okay. From where we want to start the transactions.
Oh,
From which
okay.
number that we want to start the transactions. That's what this page is designed for.
So we are sort of setting the we are sort setting the controls or rules. For example, if
Yeah.
somebody wants to send a fax for purchasing, then what number it's going to start from, right?
Yeah, right. You're absolutely right.
And then for purchase orders, how many purchase order he can send, and who's gonna approve the purchase order, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So clear?
Yeah, clear.
And you can go to the next setup task list. So here you can just define the new countries, or you can able to see the existing countries. Okay.
So
Total
how
we
many
have
countries we can define?
you can define n number of countries.
Okay.
But all the countries are unique queue. Okay. You cannot define a single country multiple times.
So I can define one country multiple times?
No. Only
Okay.
once you can able to define.
Yeah. Because as we were talking about Sony, so if Sony has businesses in all, for example, 10 countries, then we need to define 10 countries at one time, right?
No, those 10 countries are already there.
I know,
See,
but we need to
countries.
add into that.
No. 10 countries you no need to define. 10 countries, each country you can define once. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. No, my point is, for example, they asked us to come and set up financial system, FSCM for Sony, right? So now Sony is in America, Sony is in USA, Sony is in Canada, Sony is in India, Sony is in China,
Okay.
right?
Sony is already in USA. USA country is already set up here. And India is already set up. If there is no India or no USA, you need to set up the country. If it is already there, then you don't need to define the country, right?
Oh, okay. It's for the country which are not defined, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So these are all the countries that we have already in the system. There is any new country formed, then you need to come and define that new country. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And state. Similarly, state. Whenever any new state
But
formed in
my
any of the
my
countries,
question
then
is, we need to at least select the country, right, or not?
where?
For example, they asked us only to come and set up financial system for India, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the system will know that which country we are talking about?
Yeah, while defining the business unit, there you have the field, country field.
Okay.
There you need to mention the country. Then the system will identify
So
which
here we don't need
country.
to define the country because India is already there, right?
Yeah. Here only
Okay.
need to define the country.
Okay, got it.
Here what you can do, only you can define the new countries, new country names. Okay.
Okay.
If it is, if that country is not exist in the system. Okay.
Okay.
Similarly, we have the state. We can define the states as well in each and every country. For example, if any new state formed in any of the country, for example, in the USA we have how many states?
Almost 50.
55. Okay. If there
Yeah.
is any new state formed, then you can add a new value and give that
Oh,
state name.
got it.
I'm just giving the new state name like RES. Then you can just give the description and the numeric code also. 56, I think. Okay. We have already 55. Then this is the
Yeah.
56, like that. Okay. If there is any new state formed in India, then you can just use the India country. Last year, one new state formed in India. Sorry, India. What is that country? It's not, sorry, state. Total we have 36.
36.
There is any new country formed. This is the new state formed last year. Okay.
Okay.
I have already added this. You understand, right? When we
Yeah.
can use the state navigation. And currency code. Similarly, currency code also same. You can just define the currency codes for each and every country. For example, if new country formed, that country name is some test and okay, or else tell me one country, USA. Sorry, yeah, this is the currency code, not country code. Okay, this is the one of the currency code. Okay,
Yeah.
and this effective date means what?
When it was like when
Yes,
it's
effective. Okay. For example, if I mention this 15th August 2015, that means from 15th August 2015 onwards, this currency code will come into picture, will become effective, right?
yeah.
That is nothing but a effective date, and this is the status, active or inactive. Okay. For example, if I put inactive. Uh, Inactive July 15th, 2015, July 31st. That means from 31st July 2015, this currency code will become inactive. That means USD currency code is no more in the system. That's what this meaning is. Okay.
Okay.
So this currency code description and a short description and a symbol and USA, in which country this currency code is using, and decimal positions. Tell me one currency code. What is the
Um,
currency code for Bangladesh or Pakistan or Sri Lanka?
for Pakistan is PKR.
PKR. Okay, I will
or RS, I think. Yeah,
see
fine.
Pakistan rupee. Okay, rupee, and which country that currency code is using PAK, Pakistan. Okay, decimal positions too. If there is any new currency code comes, then you need to define that currency code in the system. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the Nepal currency code? NPR. Nepalese rupee. Okay.
Okay.
You can see almost all the currency codes in the world. So those currency codes will be especially used for in that particular country. If there is any new country formed, then new currency also will form, right? So that
Yeah.
currency code we need to define in the system. Okay.
Okay.
So this is all about currency codes. Then we can go one by one in tomorrow's class. Okay, like next market rate index and market rate types. So what are all these options? We will go one by one. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.